So here's the summary. David is not a perfect man. He confesses that in verse 5. He is a righteous man. He implies that in verse 28. He's a man who loves the glory of God. He trusts God's mercy for ransom and redemption that he needs. He stands up for the cause of the humble, verses 32 and 33. And he's suffering undeserved persecution because he's standing with God, and the enemies of God are making him their enemy as well. And in the middle of all of that, lament and cry for help. 7 verses are devoted to crying down the judgment of God on these people. There's the psalm. Now, what does the New Testament make of this? Well, the first thing we should see, we've noted already, let me say it again, is that in all of its quotations, and this psalm is quoted as much as any in its extent, not as many times, but more of it, I believe. In its quoting, it's never embarrassed by this psalm, ever. Not a hint that, we need to correct this psalm, or be embarrassed by this psalm, or be critical of this psalm, or leave it behind and get beyond it. The New Testament never treats it as a sinful, personal vengeance. So, we learn from the New Testament that, and this is what we should expect, given what we saw in the first message, that Jesus regards the Psalms as inspired by God, and therefore this psalm is holy. I was naive at age 25 and easily shockable theologically. And in Germany, was in a conference and in a seminar with a big square table. I can just see it. I was so jolted by this moment of my studies. And sitting around that table were high-level scholars from all over Germany. I had never seen real Bible-rejecting theological liberalism in action. I had only read about it. And I was there as an observer, graduate student. And in the discussion, one fairly innocent young man quoted one of the imprecatory psalms to make a point. And across the table, he was sitting about that angle from me, a well-known scholar got this look on his face and simply burst out, "Das ist doch ein Pharisäerpsalm." That is a Pharisee psalm. Clearly implying, don't ever quote that psalm around us. Don't ever quote those psalms around me. You leave those out. That's what liberalism is. It leaves out parts of the Bible. It is liberal in the sense that it feels free to do what it pleases with God's Word. I sat there just almost trembling. I had never in public heard Bible scholars treat the Bible that way. It's much more subtle in evangelicalism. But there it was not subtle. And inside, everything in me said, I'm here studying to teach the Bible. Oh God, never, never, never let me go there. Never let me be influenced by this kind of blasphemy. And I think, I pray, I hope that He has protected me and will yet. So the New Testament would not have approved of that attitude. Das ist doch ein Pfarrer.